Ladies and gentlemen, the Geneseo Middle School Band. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please stand and join me singing our national anthem as it is played by the 7th and 8th grade middle school band under the direction of Mr. John Rich. Drum major, is your band ready to perform? Beyond high school, you may take the field for competition. Rock Ridge High School as they take the field for competition. Rockbridge High School Marching Band. Drum majors, is your band ready for competition? Arlington High School, you may take the field for competition. Is your band ready? Now ready, and take the field for competition. High School, you may take the field for competition. school, you may take the field for competition. Drum major, is your band ready to compete? Manuka, you may take the field for competition. Geneseo High School marching band. Drum majors, is your band ready for competition? Now, major, you may take the field for competition. take the field for competition. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to high school marching band. Ladies and gentlemen, your hosts for the Geneseo High School marching band. Director Steve Shearer, Tony Hernandez, and John Schultz. Drum majors Audrey Hamel, Danny Kemp, and Holly Burton. Auxiliary captains Allison Shearer and Laura Peterson. Drum sergeants Don McCossie, Aaron Harding, and Eric Garnett. Program coordinator Eric Ashcraft. Guard instructors James Shearer and Kathy Shearer. Percussion staff Ramiro Martinez and Mike Oakes. Visual design Greg Baird. Their program this evening, Gentle and High. Selections include Prologue, Murder Murder, In His Eyes and Facade. Their awards for 2006 American Parade and Field Invitational. In Parade, Best Auxiliary, Winds and Percussion. Second place in Class AA. On the field, first place, Class AA. Best Auxiliary, Grand Champion Percussion, and Grand Champion Auxiliary. Judges, are you ready? Drum majors, is your band ready for competition? Geneseo, you may take the field for competition. First quarter by Louis Vicksburg. The Marching Band of North Carolina University is yours without limitation as one of the great bands in the Army. The band is recognized by its powerful sound and dedicated like audiences for over 100 years. The previous band was featured to take on another one of the song of all time in music. As the band performs the always recognizable 76 trombone. With a powerful toe-tapping rendition of Trouble and Wells Fargo Wagon. exciting for a prize of 76 trombones.
everybody. I'm Steve Shear, and I'm one of the directors here at Geneseo, and I wanted to start off tonight by thanking everyone for attending. First, I want to thank the Western Illinois University Band for coming this year. One of the things that we really pride ourselves in is the amount of emphasis that we put on the educational aspects of this show. And all afternoon, all of the bands received clinics from professional adjudicators an hour long with each band. And in addition to that, the sections of the Western Band administers master classes to 2 different groups. All of the high school bands participated, and so all of the members of the college band were instructing and sharing tips and things with the high school groups. And we just really appreciate their involvement here today and that terrific performance. So another round of applause for them. Thank you. On behalf of all of the directors, I would like to thank all of the moms and dads and families that are in the audience tonight. Marching band is one of those things that takes countless hours, the preparation and all the rehearsals, and I know that you depart with them while they're with us and these long road trips, but we all read the same newspapers and receive the same news. And when you look around, they call it the noble profession that we're in, but we get to work with your kids. And it's such a privilege to have this caliber of young ladies and gentlemen to work with every day, that they have the wherewithal and the poise and the fortitude to come out and work hard enough to put these shows together. And we thank you for allowing us to do that. Let's hear it for your parents, ladies and gentlemen. It's always fun to come to a band show because we get to see so many different styles of music and so many interpretations of performance. But now, the exciting part that we've been waiting for is the competitive part, and I would like to turn the microphone back over to our wonderful announcer, Mr. Harvey Green.
We're going to start with the Captain Awards, and we will announce only the winner in each class. Would the drum major from that band please come forward to accept their awards? For color guard, in class 1A, Rock Ridge. In class 2A, Farmington. And in class 3A, Normal Community High School. Now for percussion. In class 1A, Rock Ridge. In class 2A, Farmington. In class 3A, Manuka. Martinez. In Class 1A, Rockridge. In Class 2A, Farmington. In Class 3A, Normal. For the final capture, the drum majors, and they're there before you. In Class 1A, Rockridge. In Class 2A, Rockfall. In Class 3A, Moringa. And now the awards for the outstanding bands in each class. Top 3 places receive the trophy. In second place in Class 1A with a score of 45.5, Diwani. And your champion in Class 1A with a score of 55.6, Rockridge. In Class 2A, in third place with a score of 51.2, Galva. In second place, in 2A with a score of 56.4, Rockfall. And your champion in Class 2A with a score of 66.3, Farmington. In Class 3A, in third place with 72.8 points, Rock Island. In second place, in 3A, with a score of 75.8, Macomb. And your champion in Class 3A with a score of 76.9, Normal Community. One more trophy to give out, the grand champion of the entire classic. With a score of 76.9 points, Normal Community. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for an exciting evening of music. Once again, let's give a round of applause to all our fans here, especially the Geneseo marching Royalettes. And please, have a safe drive home tonight.
Slow to get up. We hope everything's all right there, but I think
it's
he's
just
more
frustration
yeah,
down there
you're
than
exactly
anything.
right, John. There's nothing bigger than a drive killer than a turnover, and we saw it 3 straight possessions. And right now, Geneseo's, you can see they've stepped up the intensity, but the result's still a turnover, and LaSalle Peru's going to get the ball back deep in their own zone.
New quarterback comes in for LP, number 11, Stevenson. Geneseo's defense stays in that 5-2. Linebackers walk up tight. Number 4 on the carry. No gain of play, maybe a loss on the play by number 4. Been a workhorse horse tonight also. Nation, a senior, 6 foot, 185 pounds.
Paxton and Verstrady on the tackle for Geneseo.
Clock's on the move now. Inside 9 minutes in this fourth quarter.
Well, LaSalle Peru doing a nice job of not giving up. That's one thing they haven't done all game. They got they got 2 touchdowns here in the third quarter, which they could have easily rolled over, and they didn't. And Geneseo, I think now has finally got it through their head that they need to play a little football here to the end.
Drop back to pass. Ball's put out. Wide incomplete, knocked down up front. I believe that time Hall got his hands on the ball, knocked it down. Number 66.
Well, that's what you do as a defensive lineman. If you see that you're engaged and you're getting blocked and there's no way to get to the quarterback, you put your hand up there and you block it down like he did. We saw that earlier with Grant Majorkirth, and that's as good as an incompletion because that's what it is, and it's going to bring up 3rd and long here deep inside LaSalle Peru territory.
So with 8:34 left on the clock, Geneseo's up by the score 42-0. And LP in a 3rd and long, 3rd and 11 situation with the ball at the 15-yard line of LP. 2 receivers near side. Miller along with Cuban on the coverage. Quarterback looks him over. He's going to go for the draw play this time. Number 4 on the carry. He's going to pick up nice yardage this time. Knocked out of bounds on the Geneseo bench by Glazier. Number 10 knocks him out close to 1st down. Nice pickup that time by LP.
It's hard to see where the sticks are at compared to where the referee is. Mike, looks like they're going to be a little short. No, they're going to go ahead and give him a 1st down on that.
It is a 1st down. They'll move the sticks with 8:26 left in this ball game.
For the Cavaliers.
Well, you got to credit this LaSalle Peru team. 8:25 here in the fourth quarter. They were down at one time, I think 42-6, and Geneseo seemed like they were comfortable with that lead and relaxed, and LaSalle Peru kept playing football, and they've come back here a little bit.
Wide left, wide right they go. He's going to drop back to pass. A lot of pressure in the backfield. He's being flushed out of the pocket, looking to throw the ball downfield, and he's going to be sacked for a loss on the play. Under the pressure of the Geneseo's defense, getting off the pile. Number 55, Paradiso, let all his weight down the quarterback that time as he flushed him out.
Well, they opened the floodgates there. There was 3 or 4 guys that could have got the sack on that, and I think they all got there at the same time and just crushed him. And credit that secondary for having good coverage. They had a couple guys out in the receiving team, and looks like a hold against LaSalle Peru. They're going to go ahead and decline that and take the result of the sack, which would be about the same, and a loss of down.
So he'll bring up second. Moves the ball back down to the 12-yard line, maybe the 13-yard line. It'll be second and 25 for LP with 8:18 left in the fourth quarter. Wide left, wide right they go. Russell and Cuban on the coverage for Geneseo. Glazier, this free safety, back deep about 15 yards off the ball. Quarterback drops back to pass, looking to get the ball out in the flat, and caught there and tackled by Russell, and Glazier comes over and cleans him up. Just as or no, that was Paxton cleans him up. Number 35. Or was it Russell on the tackle, and Glazier cleans him up along with Paxton both, I believe.
Well, that's a nice play by the secondary. You can give that pass up with, like you mentioned, 2nd and 25. You can give up 7 yards, and that's what they did. The key is you don't want to give up anything after that, and they did a nice job of wrapping him up, and then Russell came up there and polished it off and completed the tackle. The defense has really stepped up and played football here in the second half. It's the offense and the turnovers which has got us kind of worried, Coach Johnson.
2 receivers near side. Miller along with Cuban on the coverage. 1 back in the backfield. Straight drop at the pass. Ball's put in the air. Down deep. Cuban's playing center field once again. Intercepts the ball. He's got a way in the zone now. He's going to cut back against the grain. Still on his feet. Number 16. They're fighting to tackle the ball rather than him.
Fumble.
And he does fumble the ball, and LP comes back with the ball.
Well, that's what you got to do. You got to protect that football. LaSalle Peru knew exactly what they had to do when they saw that.
He had 2 hands on that ball. They were just beating on him in there, grabbing that ball from him, and that'll be incomplete, or a pass interception by Cuban. And they'll mark the ball back where it's tackled. It'll be first down, LP.
Well, that turned out to be the best thing that could have happened for LaSalle Peru, because they were facing 3rd and long, and with the change of possession there briefly for Geneseo with Cuban with his 5th interception of the year. As soon as he caught that ball, you saw him. They weren't trying to tackle him. They were trying to get that ball out, and they were successful. And Geneseo is showing that they turned the ball over here in the second half, and you just cannot do that, whether you're up by 30 or if you're, it's a tight game. That stuff's going to kill you.
They had all their weight just pulling that ball out of him and taking liberties with him there as far as pulling it out. So LP with a first down after that interception and then fumble. It was a change of position. LP gets the ball back. Quarterback trying to run his offense in the backfield. Tailback gets the carry. Number 24 with the carry. And brought down after a pick of about 5 or 6. A little curricular activity in there as he's pulling people off the pile.
Yeah, he's hurt. Looks like the runner there from LaSalle Peru is a little banged up. I think that's why he was a little aggressive of pulling the Geneseo guy off. Yeah. Might look like he got a little twisted up there when he got tackled. It looked like they're looking at an ankle.
Kind of spun him a little bit, didn't they?
Well, we hope it's nothing serious. We saw already a LaSalle Peru player get taken away by an ambulance, and that's something you don't want to see, especially on any side of the ball here at the high school level.
Approaching 10:30 here in Friday night in Geneseo, and we still have 6 minutes and 45 seconds remaining to play in this contest with the score of 42-20. Geneseo's on top of the LP Cavaliers, and there's timeout in the field by LP after the injury of the LP player.
Well, once again, like every week, we're going to pick a Ginny Dogs Big Dog Player of the Game, and at the end of the school year, one Ginny Dog Big Dog Player of the Game will be selected at random to receive a $500 scholarship courtesy of Ginny Dog's Chicago-style eatery in Geneseo. And just to mention some of those Ginny Dog players throughout the weeks, first week was the United Township game. That was Andrew Hall. The second week was Chicago Dunbar, where Kyle Glazier was nominated the Big Dog Player. And Cahokia here at home, it was the center, Jared Dornfeld. Dixon was Kyle Glazier again, who had 28 of the 35 points for Geneseo. At Ottawa was Chris Brooks. Last week was Sterling, was Manny Ramirez, and tonight we'll be picking one for the LaSalle Peru game.
So 2nd and 5, we're back to action here with 6:45 left in the third. Fullback with a carry, number 4 is going to pick up close to first down. He will get the first down out towards the 40-yard line, 38-yard line we'll call it, of Ottawa, or of LP.
Well, I tell you what, this second half, John, I'm waiting for the sun to come up because it is just going slow.
We may be running out of tape over there.
We've had injuries. We've had a little bit, with LaSalle Peru down, they've been passing the ball, so therefore the clock hasn't ran. And turnovers on Geneseo's side.
Wide left, wide right to go. 1st and 10, ball's on the 39-yard line of LP. Long count, straight back, drop back the path, gets the ball up in the air and incomplete as it's over near the 50-yard line. Incomplete will bring up a 2nd and 10 for LP. Good pressure that time. Once again, Major Kurth got his hands up in the air to help knock that pass down, or to nothing else, the vision of the quarterback to be broke up.
Geneseo secondary, you know, credit Cuban there with the interception. They granted that he turned the ball over and they were really tugging at it, but Geneseo's football defense here on the second half after the 2 scores that they gave up have really settled down and played some football.
2nd and 10 for LP. Drop back to pass, going to go to draw play this time, and Geneseo's all over that one as they snuffed that one out, and both linebackers had a piece of it, and they're finished. He was finished off by Akers on the tackle.
Well, as we heard earlier, you can hear it down the field through the headsets. They are doing some hitting out there, and LaSalle Peru's got a couple of guys banged up, and Geneseo is starting to match a little bit of their intensity, but this game just can't get over quick enough.
Inside 6 minutes now, Geneseo's up by the score of 42-20. Wide receiver left and right for LP. Tight end sets himself on this near side. Looking to throw the ball out in the flat once again. Incomplete, short. And it'll be a 4th down and long for LP.
Well, here's where this is Geneseo football here. It's 4th down and long, and obviously LaSalle Peru, 42, I see they're running a bunch of people. I don't know if they're going to punt the ball or 40 down, 42-20. I don't know if they were running another squad in for a certain kind of play, or are they going to attempt to punt this ball. I don't imagine why they would try to punt it, John. Down 22 points here with 5 minutes left, but we're more than willing to take it.
Incomplete pass there, so the clock is stopped at 5:36 left in the ball game.
Yeah, they are going to punt it down 22. This is a surprise. I realize that you don't want to give the ball up, but it's hard to score without the ball.
Every time they send that receiver, that wide guy, a little bit in motion, kick's going to be fielded down there, and they'll let that roll dead. It's going to roll down to about the 29-yard line where the ball will roll dead. And Geneseo's offense will come back on the field. We'll see what offense they send back here with the score 42-20 with 5:26 left in the ball game. Geneseo will take over possession at their own 29-yard line.
Well, here's where a chance for Geneseo to put a nice sustained drive here. You get a couple first downs, and you're going to eat this clock down to almost nothing and walk away with the victory. It's just it kind of takes the luster off the first half, what Geneseo did, because they really came out and dominated this first half. And they came out the second half with the intensity on the first drive, got the big score. And ever since then, it's kind of just been in slow motion with the penalties, the turnovers, and LaSalle Peru is not willing to go away too lightly. And they're going to play to the end here. So Geneseo's got to match it. And with 5:26 here in the fourth, Geneseo up 42-20. Once again, TV 50 telecast sponsors B&B Lawn Equipment and Cyclery, Becker & Becker Plumbing, Heating and Cooling, Central Bank, Geneseo, Chicago Street Decorating Center, Eric Henderson and Greg Anderson of Country Insurance and Financial Services, Geneseo Dairy Queen, Tom and Doug Kern of Edward Jones, Farmers National Bank, Geneseo Municipal Electric Utility, Geneseo Telephone Company, Goodrich Equipment, Hammond Henry Hospital, Hazelwood Homes, IDC Tech Center, Jenny Dogs, Beef Dogs and more, Northside Rexall Drugs, ProTech Auto Body, and Turpins of Geneseo.
Well, we're set here to bring you this last 5 minutes and 26 seconds of this final home game, regular season home game for the Leafs. Munson comes in at quarterback. First man through the carry that time for the Leafs on the carry. the fullback slot, I believe it was that time. Carried by Charlie Wolf, I believe, number 46, if I'm not mistaken.
Charlie Wolf, the junior, 6 foot 190.
Or Bo Nice, maybe that time, 36. Gentry runs a play in, number 86. Logan Gentry, 6'4", 210. Full house backfield behind him in the wishbone formation, behind Munson, the quarterback. 4:45 left in the ball game. Once again, Geneseo fumbles the ball on the play, and LP's going to come up with it once again.
Well, this is like a broken record, John. I feel like every time they get the ball back, they create a turnover and give it right back to LaSalle Peru. It's hard to take any time off the clock if you don't have the football. And I mean, we're watching the same play. This is, whether it's your second string or your first string, you practice this every game. It's just a handoff, and you take the snaps, and that's something that's got to really concern Coach Johnson there, because right now the offense is just struggling.
And usually it's very uncharacteristic for a Geneseo team that usually their second and third units come on the field and can pretty much play with anybody with a quality play, but certainly the ball on the ground is not what you're looking for there. So we're 4:36 left in the ball game. LP with the ball once again. The fullback piles forward, going to pick up about 3 on the play, bring up a 2nd and 7 for the Cavaliers.
Well, with 4:26 and counting down here, Geneseo up 42-20. You feel like they do have the game in their hand, but I don't know how many turnovers we've had the second half where this game could have just easily been taken over by Geneseo, and we should be at La Roma's right now eating pizza.
You're right
Instead, there's 4:10 counting down and just waiting for this LaSalle Peru. Credit LaSalle Peru, their offense they're not giving up.
Geneseo's defense on the field, a 5-2, and it goes near side, and at that time, nice tackle that time. First initial contact was made by Geneseo's number 85, I believe, the first contact. It wasn't 85, it was
53, Taylor
53.
Wildermuth, the junior 5'10", 200 linebacker, did a nice job of filling, and he was there beside number 85.
And Rex Roth was in on that one also, number 65. So loss in the play of 3 brings up a 3rd and 13.
Well, credit this Geneseo defense, whether it's the first or second string, they have come in. They've got the ball handed to them in horrible field position all this second half, and they've done a nice job of keeping them, for the most part, out of the end zone.
Quarterback goes under center, sends wing back in motion. Second man, number 30 with the carry. Going to get back to the original line of scrimmage. It brings up a 4th and 10 for LP.
Well, it's really surprising. It's actually a happy surprise to see LaSalle Peru running the ball, because the time's moving here, and they've had some success throwing the ball down the field, but I'm not so sure it's not Geneseo's fumbles that have created LaSalle Peru's success here in the second half.
Be a late night getting back to LP this evening after the game's over. For the crowd that stuck around for him, Geneseo's crowd is very, very thin on the far side as we broadcast from the visitor sideline here at Geneseo. They break the huddle, does the Cavaliers, of center receiver out wide to the left side of their offense. Wing back on this near side. Number 30 drop back to pass. Pressure on the backside this time, and Major Kurth drops him for a big loss that time. They'll turn the ball over on downs as Major Kurth came in untouched, squared up the quarterback and sacked him for a loss of about 10 on the play.
Well, once again, the defense stepped up, made a stop, made him turn it over on downs, and now you're going to give it back to this offense. And I realize that you're getting a lot of guys in there that normally don't play or that haven't played together with the injuries and the substitutions, but still, from Geneseo football, from the first string to the fifth string, it's the same plays, it's the same offense, and it's the same repetitious. So Geneseo, I'm sure Coach Johnson's going to address this next week about the turnovers and the mistakes. It's nice to have them when you're ahead by 30 points, but in a tight game, you let game get away from you.
Wishbone formation behind Munson, the quarterback for the Leafs. Gives the ball up the middle to the fullback, that time on the carry by number 36, Bo Nice. On the carry, picks up 3.
Well, just like you mentioned, powerhouse backfield, he's content just to run it up the middle and get this clock moving. I couldn't be more happier right now, John, to see it go under 2 minutes here in the fourth. Geneseo has handled LaSalle Peru 42-20 the whole night. It's just this last quarter and a half's been a little deceiving as far as how this game's went.
Yep.
Make the game exciting.
Yeah, keep things alive a little bit out there with another turnover. So 2nd and 8, we'll call it, for the Leafs. Gives it once again to Bo. Give him 3 more on the play. It'll be a 3rd and about 3, maybe 3rd and 4 on the mark. The clock on the move inside 1:20 now left in this ball game.
Well, the second string that's came in here they've done a nice job of moving the ball. They have moved it down the field the one time before they turned it over. It's just looks like they're having problems handling it there in the backfield. When they get the ball to the running backs, the line's doing a nice job of creating holes, and you're getting 3rd and 4 here at midfield with 1:02 and counting down here in the 4th.
So Hamilton brings them up the line of scrimmage, number 54. We're inside 1 minute finally in this ball game. Geneseo up by the score 42-20. Munson, the quarterback, is the 2nd man through on the carry. Geneseo's going to move the pile forward. Just gets right at the 50-yard line here. It brings up close to a 1st down. Depends on the mark. Once again, there's some indication there's a fumble in the pile.
Well, if they go by the far referee, I think they've got it. This near side referee is going to be awful close. I think they're going to go ahead and give it to him. Please, thank you.
So with 34 seconds left, we do get a 1st down right here at the 50-yard line. And they'll start the clock once the play is started here with the 1st down markers are marked, and it's 22 seconds left in the ball game. This will be the last play of the game, and looks like they have planned for Munson to take a knee. And that'll do it for this game. That's the last play of the game. So this game's finally over as the clock runs down to 1 second. No time left on the clock, and the final score will be Geneseo 42 and the LP Cavaliers 20. Geneseo will move on now with a record of 6-1 as they will travel all the way over to Streeter next Friday night for a game with a team that at this point Streeter's record is I believe they're with a record of, let me see as I flip it out in front of me, Streeter with a record of 3-2 in the season, 1-1 on the year, and tonight they will play host to they're playing at Dixon tonight, so very likely they'll come into the game next week with a 2-1 conference record. So Geneseo goes down to ring that victory bell at the north end of the field with victory over the LP Cavaliers. LaSalle Peru coming in here and gave a valiant effort here, especially in that 2nd half. Did not roll over and play dead as they could have very easily. They stayed in the game and played hard to a 42-20 final outcome. So.
Well, I think that last halfway through the 3rd and the 4th quarter really don't illustrate what this 1st half really played for Geneseo. They came out and we were wondering how they'd react to a loss last week, and they came out and they played smash mouth football for the 1st half and the start of the 3rd and really stuck it to this LaSalle Peru team and jumped all over them. They went to a 14-0 lead earlier, and at halftime they had I believe it was 28 or 35. It was 35-6 lead, and really stuck it to them, and then it just kind of got a little luster, and they kind of lost their focus here. You know, it is senior night, and you jump out to a big lead like that, and you do happen to lose your focus, but one thing you can't handle is the turnovers.
Yeah, that's was not good to see the way the ball was on the ground, on the carpet so many times in the 2nd half. Like I said, uncharacteristic for either the 1st team, 2nd team, or 3rd team of a Geneseo football squad to put it on the grass like they did tonight. So.
For the most part, though, you know, a W is a W, especially in the NCIC, and you got to play every game, and 42-20, and it doesn't really reflect what happened here tonight, especially the 1st half, and credit this Geneseo team. And, you know, Coach Johnson really wanted to see what kind of character his team had, and they came out with a little bit of fire lit underneath them, and they did what they had to do to beat this LaSalle Peru team.
Well, tonight we'll need to name the player of the game for tonight's game, and I think there's no question I will name the Jenny Dog player of the game to be Sean Russell with a night of 132 yards on the ground for the Maple Leafs. We'll go through some stats real quick here before we close.
I bet that's 232.
232. As our, oh, I'm sorry, 232. Okay, 232 on the night. Russell, we'll start right there. Sean Russell, 231 yards on the ground tonight. Number 7, Jeremy Peters, 78 yards, -4 yards for Munson, 12 yards for Tyler Root, 7 yards for Nice. Glazier with 6 yards, Skylar Miller with 4, and Sam Woosley with -3, and Paxton with 17 yards on the ground. Throwing the ball tonight, Kyle Glazier was 3 of 4 for 23 yards, 1 touchdown. The longest pass was 9 yards. Major Kurth on 1 reception, Rivera on 1, and Russell with 1. Russell with 2 punts tonight for 29-yard average. And then no field goals tried tonight. Returned the ball. Russell had 2 returns for 12 yards, a long one of 16. And that was the only 2 returns on the evening. Interceptions, Cuban had two interceptions tonight. Glazier had 1, giving us a total interception return yards of 47 yards on the evening.
Some team stats, especially one that sticks out right here. Geneseo with 12 first downs compared to LaSalle's Peru's 13, which LaSalle Peru had 1 more first down. Geneseo rushed the ball for 35 times for 347 yards. LaSalle Peru 43 times for 108 yards. Passing attempts, Geneseo was attempted to pass the ball 4 times for 3 completions at 23 yards and a touchdown. LaSalle Peru 22 attempts for 9 completions, 120 yards, 1 touchdown and 3 interceptions, 2 by the sophomore. Total yards, Geneseo tallied 370 to LaSalle Peru's 228. Fumbles, Geneseo had 6 fumbles and lost 6. LaSalle Peru had 3 fumbles and lost 1. Penalties, Geneseo had 4 for 23 yards, where LaSalle Peru had 4 for 28. And time of possession, Geneseo 18 minutes and 9 seconds to LaSalle Peru's 29:51. Geneseo punted the ball 2 times for an average of 29.5, and LaSalle Peru had 5 punts for the average of 24.8.
Once again, before we go any further, Jenny Dog player of the game was Sean Russell tonight. The big dog player of the game will be selected from random at the end of the season for a $500 scholarship courtesy of Jenny Dog's Chicago Style Eatery in Geneseo. So that'll pretty much wrap it up for us here tonight. And Joe, any last thoughts about the game?
I just want to thank Kathy and Bill at the radio station for my appearance here. I enjoyed the game. It was a tremendous experience for me.
Well, you're 1-0 up here, Joe. We really, anytime we can get a victory, we take it.
Well, we'll pretty much wrap it up here tonight from Geneseo, and for Will Sandel and John Buzzard and Keith Kennett behind the camera. I want to thank Joe once again for spending time with us this night in the booth. For Josh Pierce, I am John Rowley. Once again, the Geneseo Green River team was victorious tonight by the score of 42 to 20 over the LaSalle Peru Cavaliers. Thanks for listening and good evening.